So to dive into the Upgrade Man Journal, uh, last guest, Phillip Lanier, shared this, and I thought it was perfect for our conversation. He shared this quote: "It is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war."
I love that quote. I've heard that quote so many times, and it's so true. And I think just to really hit that home, um, a man is a warrior outside of his castle, right? We go to battle every single day. Like we're providers, we're hunters, we're gatherers. And what a lot of guys do is and me included too. It's like, well, I'm providing. Like, isn't that enough? But we also take that same personality into our families, and you can't be the warrior inside the castle, but you can't be the soft guy either. I'm not saying that, but you've got to be that, like what G.S. Youngblood talks about, like being that calm, responsive man who leads with structure and provides safety. So, our kids don't necessarily need us to be a warrior inside the castle. They need us to be, their 3 a.m. call. And, in order to do that, you've got to create structure. Of course, you got to create discipline. I'm not saying but what you do need to do is create safety. That's, your kids and your wife actually have the exact same 3 basic needs, which is seen, heard, and safe, which kind of gives us guys the easy button. We can provide both those things just in different ways.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, I love that quote too. So when we were talking about it, I was like, man, is he going to bring this quote up? Because it's tracking exactly with what he was saying. So it's just how perfect that was. So yeah. So on the flip side of that, what quote, comment, question would you like to leave for the next guest?
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes. I think it was by Napoleon Hill. It was the first quote I used in Pursuit of Legendary Fatherhood. And whenever I've heard this quote for the very first time, I got the chills. Still do to this day. The definition of hell is being on your deathbed and meeting the man that you could have become. And just to give some context to that is, I'm a big fan of not leaving anything on the table when it comes to all of these things that we've talked about. And like my 18-year-old is leaving for college in 50 days. And while I'm sad to see him go, my wife and I had a conversation about it. She's like, "Do you regret anything?" And I had to really think on that. I didn't give it I was just like, I actually don't. I actually have no regrets. I was like, I really connected with him. I spent time with him. We adventured together. We did things together. Like we talked very deeply. Like I actually don't have any regrets. And like, so if I were to die tomorrow, I wouldn't have any regrets. And what I would encourage men to think about, and maybe your next guest, is how does that manifest in somebody else's life when you think about that quote?